Hello everyone and welcome back to the Part-Time Gamers YouTube channel. I am Welchy, one half of the Part-Time Gamers, and welcome back to Part-Time Gamers Weekly, our weekly show where we discuss all the hot topics in video game news and just what's going on in the industry. We discuss our Part-Time Gamers Game Club, and we also go through what we've been playing, what you've been playing, and any other comments and questions that you may have. This week we are going to be talking about difficulty in video games. It's a hot topic at the moment with the release of Sifu. Do all games need a difficulty setting or mode, or is it okay for games to not have that? I'm going to be discussing that. We'll also obviously talk about the Medium, which is our Part-Time Gamers Game Club game of the month, and just discuss what we've been playing. So without further ado, let's get into topic of the week. Topic of the week. Okay, so first things first, I just want to say that I haven't got COVID, but I've got another kind of a cold. I'm coughing again, so if I cough or anything like that, I apologise. I wanted to get this video out. It's Friday. I normally do this earlier in the week, but I've left it as long as I could. But I want to get this out and uploaded, so I am going to try and get through this without coughing as much as possible. I try my best. But yeah, video games and difficulty settings. Do all video games need a difficulty mode or setting? It's been massive in the news this week. Not in the news, but I guess it's been discussed a lot in the industry. A lot of critics are either praising Sifu for its challenge or slating it and saying it's not as good for its challenge. And it's been brought up before with games such as Sekiro, with the Souls games, Returnal last year. These games that don't have difficulty settings, that are a bit too difficult for the average gamer. And typically me, I typically wouldn't play these games, and I haven't beaten a Souls game ever, and I haven't played Returnal. But the question basically is that okay? Is it okay for games to be that difficult and not have an option to lower that difficulty? So there's a lot of points. Everyone has fair points and arguments to this, and you either land on one side or the other, or you could be in the boat in the middle, on the fence. But really, it comes down to what's your opinion, I guess, but then you got to see the broader picture of the developers and then lots of other sorts of gamers. So if we get into it first and foremost, and I think one of the most important points is it is the developer's choice at the end of the day. The developers are designing this game how they want the game to be played. They have a vision, they have a goal, and they know what they want from their game. The developers of Sifu and Returnal and the Souls games, they know they want their games to be challenging. Apologies. It wasn't just challenging them. It's like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's not make a difficulty setting. They purposely wanted it to be a difficult game. They wanted to challenge you. They wanted you to keep playing and improve at the game's mechanics. It wasn't a fact that they made the game and then play tested it. I was like, oh, it's actually quite difficult. They purposely wanted it to be that way. So, and that is their choice, and that is up to them. And they will know that, doing that will reduce sales because it is going to put a lot of people off. Reviews will come out as they have for Sifu, as they did for Returnal, and they will not sell as many copies because they will see that it's difficult and they'll go, not for me. For example, me, that's not why I haven't played Returnal, it's just because I couldn't afford it at the time. But Souls games, when they come out, we've got Elden Ring coming out next week, or 2 weeks time, I probably will get it, because I don't mind it too much. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry about this. But I am aware that I might not like it. So it's on me if I buy it and don't like it. That is on me. I know the it's going to be challenging. Same as when I bought Sifu. I was aware that it was going to be a challenge, but I was willing to give it a go and spend the money and try it. Now, as I said, it is the developer's choice, and it's also your choice. You don't have to buy this game. I get that some people like to play as many games as they can and whatnot, but sometimes you just got to say, okay, this game wasn't made for me. It's like MLB The Show. I'm not saying it's difficult, I'm saying that game wasn't made for me, I don't buy it. If you don't like FIFA, you don't buy it. If football's not your thing, you don't buy it. If a game is difficult and you don't like difficult games, don't buy it. If it looks really cool, I guess you feel like you're missing out, but you will know you will not have a good time with that game. And the developer has to be aware of that as well. They have to be aware that they're not going to get as many sales because they're not putting difficulty options in. It's a bit of a balance because obviously they could get so many more sales if they had an easy mode. More people would play, they get more money, more exposure, whatnot. But so my first opinion is it's the developer's choice. If they want to make a difficult game, let them make it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. However, I will say that if the game has a strong narrative and a strong story focus, I do think there should be some sort of option. So Sifu is a good example for this because it doesn't really have a story. It has a story, but it's very, very generic, and it's not what you're playing Sifu for. The story is your typical someone killed. This is not a spoiler. If you've not played Sifu and you don't want it spoiled, fine, mute me for the next 2 minutes. But there is nothing to spoil in Sifu story-wise, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a typical someone kills your dad, you go and try and get revenge a few years later and kill the people who killed your dad. I've not even finished the game. I know how it's going to end, so I'm pretty sure how it's going to end. It might have a little twist, but it's not going to blow my mind, I'm sure. That is the kind of game where it's not story focused, so I think it's fine that they want that difficulty challenge and they haven't given. It's not like someone's like, oh, I really want to just play the story. Can I just have a difficulty option so I can just breeze through it? They have that on games like Spider-Man, and I think even God of War might even have that kind of difficulty where it's like extra easy. If you just want a story in those games, fine, they give you that. But if a game hasn't got much of a story to it, your argument isn't really that you want to play the game for the story. You're playing the game because you want to have fun with it. I can see that, but you can have fun with other games. You don't have to have fun with this one. You know what I mean? There are other brawlers out there that you can play, like Streets of Rage 4. I don't know how difficult that is, but I'm pretty sure it's less difficult than this game, Sifu. So, and same for Returnal. If Returnal's too difficult, I'm sure there's other games similar. There's definitely other first-person shooters anyway that you can play, which are much easier. And the Souls games, one thing I'll say about the Souls games is, okay, they have a story, but does anyone give a shit about a story? I don't think they do. Some people will say they do and they read the lore and stuff, but those people get the story after the game. They have no fucking clue what's going on during the game unless someone is helping them and telling them the way through. The majority of people that understand the Souls stories, that's not me, but I know that they have got the story from the internet. They have looked into the lore and it's explained what they've done in the game, whatnot, that kind of stuff. Therefore, you can just do that anyway. You can just watch it played and get the lore. I don't think you have to play the game. Anyway, you get my point is, typically, these games that everyone's moaning that the difficulty is too hard aren't very story focused. Therefore, in my opinion, it's okay that they haven't got a difficulty option in. That's my opinion. If Sifu had this incredible story and people really wanted to play it and experience it, then I'd say, yeah, I think there should be a difficulty option. I would probably be wanting a difficulty option more in Sifu if I knew there was a good story to be witnessed here, because at the moment I'm still I'm on level 3 out of 5, I think. And it's probably going to take me a while to finish it, to be honest, because it's difficult. But I'm happy with that and I'm willing to take that challenge on. If there was a really good story and I was missing out and it was like a chance to get spoiled for me, I'd be like, come on, give me a difficulty option so I can at least do the story. There isn't, so I'm fine with that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You may disagree. Obviously, guys, these are all just my opinions. This isn't fact, but in my opinion, if there's not a story and the developer wants to make a difficult game, they're more than allowed to. It's just what they want to do. But they also have to be aware that they're going to lose sales. One more big thing though, and this is the biggest argument and the best argument, is for gamers with disabilities. Hundreds of thousands probably of gamers out there with all sorts of different disabilities, who struggle, who want to play video games and enjoy playing video games, but struggle obviously more than people without disabilities, even with a standard game, even with an easy game, I don't know, with Viva Pinata or Minecraft. So those gamers are automatically shut off by Sifu. I mean, it's a very difficult game. So for people that find the gaming harder just in general anyway, they've been completely eliminated there. And this doesn't just go for that game, this goes for just any game as well. Games like, I don't want to say games that haven't got accessibility options, I'm sure they have. But if God of War Ragnarok doesn't come out with accessibility options, I'm sure it will. That is limiting a lot of people that want to experience God of War. I do think that all games should have accessibility options, at least, at the very, very least, to help disabled gamers in whatever way they need. Xbox are very good with that. They've got the, I can't remember what it's called, the accessibility controller, I think, which is fantastic. PlayStation aren't so good, but they've had games which have won awards for the accessibility. I think Last of Us Part 2 won awards for being really accessible. That kind of thing. I think games like Sifu, like Returnal, and the Souls games could do with. I know I'm not chucking them in the water. They might have some. I haven't used them personally, but from what I've heard, Sifu hasn't and Returnal hasn't. From what I've heard, they could do with some accessibility options to make it easier for those that need it to be a little bit easier. It doesn't have to be so dumbed down that it becomes like Viva Pinata or Minecraft or whatever, but it should be more accessible, and I think that's a fair. I think that is fair, and I think the developers should be aware of that, because they are technically eliminating a whole group of gamers that way. It's not just because they can't. It's not, for example, let me say it. It's not because they don't want to play because it's hard. It's because they physically can't, and I think that's not fair. For example, Elden Ring's coming out next 2 weeks' time. Say, I know I don't like Souls games really. I know I'm probably not going to beat it because it's too hard for me. I have the choice whether to try it and struggle with it or just not buy it. Gamers with disabilities have arguably no choice if there's no accessibility options. There might be. I don't know yet, but they don't really even have the choice because they physically will not be able to do it. So, not all, but some. You get my point. So, basically what I'm trying to say is, yes, it's the developer's choice whether to include difficulty options or game modes. Should there be an easy mode? Should there not be an easy mode? Should there be no difficulty modes at all and just one mode? That is the developer's choice, and they are more than allowed to do that. Particularly if there's no story. If there is a good and a focus on the story, then I think there should be the option for people to just experience that. However, if there's no story, then whatever. But then finally, there should at least be some accessibility options to make the game more accessible. And I really do believe that. Yes, obviously people without disabilities could use those as well and make it easy. Make it easier for them. So is it just worth having a easy mode? Maybe. I think God, I'm going on such a tangent here. I don't even know if I'm making sense anymore. But in an ideal world, yes, every game would have these difficulty options, because no one can really moan then. If you want to have the challenge, if you want to play a hard game, you can just play it on the hard difficulty. You don't, and then obviously there's going to be people that are like, oh, you're a noob, you played on easy, I played on hard. Whatever. Get over yourself. Not everyone has to play on a hard difficulty. Not everyone wants to play on a hard difficulty. So let's close that. And I just think, in an ideal world, every game would. But my argument for the developers and for not having one is that they don't have to. And they want people to struggle and challenge and learn the game mechanics, which you can do on easy mode, but obviously it's a lot quicker and easier. So, sorry if that rant is kind of not made much sense or it's just pointless, but ultimately, my answer is, I think in an ideal world, we would have difficulty options in every game, but I'm perfectly happy with how it is at the moment. I don't mind that Elden Ring coming out in 2 weeks' time is going to be hard, because I'll either avoid it or I'll buy it and struggle with it and then not play it again because I'm shit at it. That is basically what I'm trying to say. Is all this discourse about difficulty modes is a bit pointless, because if you don't want the challenge, don't buy it. However, for disabled gamers, I do think there should be more accessibility options available for them. That's my rant over, because I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. In the comments below, guys, let me know what you think about difficulty modes in games. Do you think Sifu or any hard game should have an easy mode? Do you think it shouldn't, and why? I'm more interested, especially for people that don't think there should be difficulty options. And I'm guessing it won't be for every game, but for example, for a Souls game, why do you not think there should be a difficulty option? I'm really interested to find out those answers. And if you do, it's quite obvious why you do want difficulty options, but also let me know. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts on this whole Sifu difficulty debate. Because I think it's a good debate to be had, but I also think it's almost pointless, if you know what I mean. So, but you're watching this video hopefully, so that means it's not that pointless. Anyway, that's it for topic of the week. Let's go to our part-time gamers. What's my little jingle? The Part-Time Gamers Game Club. The Part-Time Gamers Game Club. I think that's my favourite jingle I've done out of two. I think I need a third one for the what we've been playing. I won't do it this week, maybe another week. Maybe a jingle for the intro. Anyway, lots of jingles to have. But yeah, Part-Time Gamers Game Club this month, as hopefully if you've been watching before. If you haven't, this game club game for this month is The Medium. Obviously, if you don't know, the Game Club, Part-Time Gamers Game Club is a book club, but for games. Each month, we pick a game, we play it, and then we discuss it throughout the month, but then review it at the end of the month, and then pick next month's game. So we played Mortal Shell, we've played Prey, and now we're playing The Medium. I do want to apologise to anyone who hasn't started The Medium yet, because I just found out, literally before coming on here earlier, that The Medium is leaving Game Pass on Tuesday the 15th. So apologies if you haven't played it and you want to, you might want to start now. It's only about 8 hours long, 8 to 10 hours. You might want to start now. Or if you're not playing along, then obviously don't worry. I've beaten The Medium, I've beaten it, and I'm not going to review it today. I'll wait until we do our Part-Time Gamers Game Club review of it. All I'm going to say is I am conflicted with it. There are some things I really enjoyed and some things I really didn't. And it is an example of... it's another example of Xbox not getting the best third-party deals. As you all know, this was a third-party exclusive to Xbox for 6 months, I think. And it didn't hit critically, review-wise, as well as they would probably hoped it would. The trailers and all that were great. It's one of my most anticipated games for next gen at the time, but haven't played it now. Yeah, we'll review it in a couple of weeks' time, but I don't want to say too much because it will basically ruin my review, I guess. But it's not a 10 out of 10. That's your little spoiler for you. Anyway. If you've been playing The Medium, let me know in the comments down below. How far are you? What do you think so far? Have you beaten it? If so, don't give me a review yet, because they might spoil some things in the comments for other people. But yeah, just let me know what you think. And moving on to what I've been playing. So obviously I've been playing The Medium, blah blah blah. I beat that in. Let me check how many days I beat it in. It wasn't that long. I must have started the last time I made this video, which was last Thursday, was that? I can't remember. Sorry, let me check The Medium. Fucking cough. Check The Medium. 3rd of Feb. That sound about right? No, 2nd of Feb. It's getting further back. I think I started on the 2nd of Feb, and I must have finished it on the 10th? 9th. It took me a week to beat it. I'm obviously on and off playing it. Did a few big stints, a few like half-hour stints. Yeah, so I've been playing the medium, and I've been playing... I always forget what I said last week. Hitman 3, I think I'd beaten that last time, hadn't I? Pretty sure I had. I haven't been playing that since then. After I beat it, I haven't really touched it. I want to, but I've been playing the medium for Part-Time Gamers Game Club. A tiny bit of Rainbow Six Extraction, not much. And I've been playing Sifu. That's the game I want to talk about most today, because I am fucking loving Sifu. When the trailers and that were happening, I was like, this looks really cool. Really cool game. And it's been on my radar. And the more I saw of it, the more I liked it. The more I heard about the mechanics, the more I thought, this sounds amazing. And then I found out it was hard. I was like, shit. I don't do well with hard games. I played Bloodborne and beat like 2, 3 bosses. Probably only 1 or 2 main bosses, and then like one, I don't even think the cleric beast, is that what it's called? Apparently that's not a boss, I don't know. Sekiro, I didn't even get anywhere on that game. That is by far the hardest game I've ever played, and I will never play it again. And I've also played Demon Souls, and I did a bit better on that one. And I say a bit better, I beat like 3 bosses. But yeah, I gave up on that as well. So as you can tell, my history with difficult games is not great. But Sifu just hits. Sifu is my kind of difficult game. It's my kind of challenge. The kind of game I love playing. And I didn't realise how much I needed this game in my life. It is so good. I don't even know where to begin. It sounds going to sound like a review, but we might do a review for this game. But the art style is fantastic. The graphics are brilliant. Obviously, it's got this like a almost, I want to say comic book kind of / cartoony style to it, and it looks amazing to look at. The levels are so well designed, so cool. Level 1 is the most generic, I guess, but it's still pretty good. Level 2 is the club. So good. The music in that is so good. Fighting with that music on is amazing. And some of the places you fight in are great. Particularly the boss battle is really cool, especially the second phase. The third level is really cool. I think it's even cooler. I didn't think it could get cooler. Especially the second half of level 3. For those of you who haven't got there yet, and we'll get there eventually. You wait till you get to that second half of level 3. Whoa, man. It is so fucking cool. I've not got any further in level 3. I got to the boss and she beat me. And I haven't played since. I'm probably going to go and play soon. Because that was Wednesday and it's now Friday. Yeah, it is fantastic. The combat is so satisfying, especially when you go into a room and clear it without taking any damage. That, or clear it very quick and like in like a cool way. That is so satisfying. Like, it's unbelievably satisfying. Obviously, the game can be frustrating, dying a lot, tough enemies, tough bosses. The second boss is so tough. The third boss I've only gone against once, but she already seems really tough as well. Yeah, it is so tough and unforgiving at times. And sometimes I struggle more against the people that aren't bosses. The people that are outside, for those that know the game. So Sean is the second boss. If you haven't watched it, I've got a video of me beating him up on the channel. Sean is the second boss. The people outside his area, so there's 2 people, a man and a woman, they fuck me up every time. Without any, what's the word? I can't think of the word. But every single time, they absolutely fuck me up. I reckon if I could, I probably couldn't, but if I got there at age 20, I'll go through the age mechanic in a minute, they would get me to 40. They just fuck me up, and I don't know how to beat them easily. And they're half the problem I have with that level, is that I just can't get through them easily at all. There's also another guy earlier on who fucks me up as well. There's just a few enemies that just fuck me up so much every time, and I just can't. I can't beat them easily. I always end up beating them eventually. Anyway, for those that don't know, Sifu is a kung fu game, a brawler mixed. It's like Tekken. That's how I explained it to my friends. Tekken mixed with Streets of Rage. That's the kind of game we're looking at here. But the main mechanic is that every time you die, you get older. I think I've explained this in probably the Metacritic video. Every time you die, you get older. And once you get to 70, if you die again, you lose. And when I say you lose, you have to start again. Now, I originally thought that meant you start again from level 1. It doesn't mean that. So, say level 1. The first time I beat level 1, I was age 27, I think. And then I started level 2 at age 27. I got to the boss, got my ass handed to me, and I had to start again at level 2 at 27 again. So, you can permanently unlock things, you can unlock things unpermanently as well. But it's better to obviously unlock them permanently. And I don't want to go into too much, but yeah, basically, I could then, if I wanted to, be like, you know what, I'd have a better chance if I started this level younger. So you can go back and do level 1, and say, for example, now I've beat level 1 age 22, I start level 2 at level 22 now. And then the first time I beat level 2, I was age 69, I was so close to fucking it up. So then I started level 3 at 69, which is almost impossible to then go and do. So I went back to level 2, and the second time I beat Sean, I was I think I'm 44, which is a big difference, 25 years difference, which is how I got to the boss at level 3, because I started so much earlier. So it's a cool mechanic. The other way, it's not just one age every time either. You have a death counter, so if you die, it goes up to 1, and that 1 gets added onto your age. If you then spawn and die straight away, that death counter goes to 2, and then you get 2 added to your age, so all of a sudden you're 23, and so on and so forth. If you die again, it goes to 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why the bosses are so difficult, because you tend to die quite a few times in a row to them. The good thing is you can bring that death counter down. It's kind of half random how that happens. From what I can tell, it seems to be beating a boss, or beating a mini boss, or just a character. So there are some characters that you come against that you try and finish them off and they stop you and they like turn into like flames. That's the only way to explain it. Beating them as well seems to bring a death counter down. So the aim of the game is to keep your death counter as low as possible, and obviously die as few as possible, but keeping that death counter as low as possible is the way to progress the best. You can also reduce your death counter to 0 by purchasing it with XP at a shrine, which I recommend doing before facing Sean on the second level. But yeah, I am amazed at how good this game is, just in every way: design, visuals, audio, gameplay. And I am personally amazed how much I am enjoying it, because it is difficult. But I think, and the way I put this in my head, I'm talking about this game too much, but it's because I love it. The reason I like this more than a Souls game is because a Souls game, when I die at a boss or whoever, they put me back all the way to the fire pit, whatever we're going to call it. And that could have taken ages. And I also lose all of my whatever progress I got, souls, blood echoes, whatever. I can go and get them back, of course, but if I die before that, I lose them completely. Anyway, in Sifu, that happens when you're 70, but it doesn't happen every time you die. For example, if that would have happened, if Sifu was like Bloodborne, I would have given up. I 100% would have given up, because that first time you get to Sean and he fucks me like that, I'd have been like, so I've got to do it all again just to get to him. And he is so difficult that I haven't been able to do him without dying yet. I think when I finished 44, I got killed by him twice. The fact that I can spawn there and have another go at him with his health as I got it down. So if I got him down to a sliver of health, then he killed me, I've got another chance of taking down that sliver. That is more my thing. It's still difficult because he'll knock me on my ass countless times and kill me countless times. But the fact that I can get up and have another go at him, not an unlimited amount of times, because eventually I'll be 70 and die. That is why I like this game more than a Souls game. That has to be it, because the thing that fucks me off about a Souls game is losing my progress and going all the way back every time I die. The fact, and like I say, with that discussion about difficulty options, it's fine. A lot of people like that. A lot of people like that design, And that's the way they want to design it, and that is fine. It's just not for me, and that's why I don't play them. Sifu's design is for me. It is fucking hard, but it is more forgiving in that it says get up and have another go. Not too many goes, but get up and have another go. And that is why it fits my playstyle and my logic. And the levels are short enough as well, especially if you go through it quick. The first level I could probably do in, if you take the shortcuts, 5 minutes, I think. Maybe 10, I don't know, I'd have to time it. But I guess the boss battle might take a few minutes extra, but 10 minutes maybe, especially with the shortcut. So yeah, I think that is my reason why I love this game so much. I don't want to carry on talking about it too much because we might review it if I actually beat it in time. The idea is I might review it next week on Part-Time Gamers Game Club, but I feel like I don't need to beat the game to review it, but I want to, if that makes sense. Or at least want to get to the last boss, even if he fucks me up, so I could experience pretty much the exact 99% of the game. I'd like to do that, but we'll see. If I don't get there, then I might not review it, we'll see. But anyway, one other game I've been playing, I played it, it came out yesterday, I played it a little bit last night when I got in, and a little bit this morning, and that is Crossfire X. Crossfire X is another example of Microsoft having, I think they're a third party deal to bring a game to Xbox first. I believe it's coming to PlayStation at some point. I might be wrong. I don't want it on PlayStation. I don't think anyone on PlayStation wants this game because it is fucking dreadful. It is so bad. From what I've played so far, it is awful. I don't even think this is an argument of saying it needed more time to be made better. It's just bad. From what I have played, and I'm going to play more because I've only played like an hour and a half of the multiplayer. It is so bad. It is just not good at all. It is the most generic shooter ever. And it's just not fun. It's not fun. It's not good. I was told, and I was led to believe that there would, there'd be a single player portion of the game, which there is, but it's locked. I knew some of it would be locked, because I knew you had to get like the Ultimate Edition, which, fuck, if anyone bought the Ultimate Edition, I am sorry for you. But there was meant to be a part of the campaign available from Game Pass. It's locked, so I can't even experience the campaign. And it's just a hot mess. It's just not fun. It's boring. It's generic, and I've got no other words for it. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer. Try out a few different game modes. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and it's another miss. This is the game, if you remember from our Metacritic episode, that I said would get an 80 out of 100 on Metacritic, and Fipsy said 65. This was our biggest difference of 15, and I think I remember saying that it's either going to go one way or the other. It's either going to be really bad, or surprise us and be good. It went Fipsy's way. It's really bad. I am actually... Let me check if reviews are out. Well, last time I checked, reviews weren't out yet because they didn't give anyone code to review it. Everyone got the game at the same time. No, as far as I know, no critics got a review copy, and I think we know why now. Because they probably knew it was shit, and it hasn't been getting much publicity or advertisement from Xbox, and I think we know why. I think they knew. They said it good, so there's no review still. When the reviews come out, I'm going to hazard a guess now that Fipsy is going to be too high. I think 65 is going to be too high. Obviously, I can't tell. I've not been able to access the campaign. The campaign might be good. I doubt it because if the gameplay is just boring as shit. But if it's good, then maybe it will get a bit higher. But I am pretty sure it's not going to get 65. It's going to get lower. I can see it getting 60. I could even see it getting lower than 60. That's how I feel about a game. If it was up to me, I'd never play it again, but I'd want to give it a little bit longer, a little bit more of a chance, try a few different game modes. Maybe I'm just playing a shit game mode. I'm playing Team Deathmatch, which is like the most bog standard thing ever, so surely. I also played a game mode which is like Search and Destroy, but one team is invisible. It's fucking weird. Actually, to be fair, it's probably better than Team Deathmatch. But anyway, yeah, and that's what I've been playing. Mainly Sifu, loving Sifu. I've put in about 7 or 8 hours into that already. The medium, Crossfire X. That sounds about right. I do want to briefly touch on the Nintendo Direct. I should have probably done this in topic of the week. The Nintendo Direct happened the other day, and they announced a few new games. If you hopefully you already know this, but if you didn't, Nintendo Switch Sports is coming, which is Wii Sports for the Nintendo Switch. Super fucking pumped for that game. I cannot wait. Wii Sports, everyone knows, is like one of the best games ever, really. It's not because it's not, but it's so fun with family, friends and whatnot, and I just can't wait for that game to come out. I've pre-ordered it. Comes out April the 20-something, 22nd, I want to say. Super excited for that. Pre-ordered the physical version because it comes with a leg strap. There's a there's a football game mode, so I'm excited for that. Try that out. They also announced DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is crazy. It's a 5-year-old game almost, and it's getting DLC, but it sounds really cool. 48 different tracks over a year and a half, 2 years, which is really cool. And Portal 1 and Portal 2 as a combination is coming to Switch. As soon as I saw that, I was like, holy shit, I gotta get that. But then I thought, I already got those on Xbox, so probably won't do that. But anyway, I thought, just wanted to let you know that Nintendo Switch Sports is coming, and I'm super humped. That's humped? Wow. Super pumped for that game to come out. Yeah, so that's going to be it, guys, for today. I'm really sorry about all the coughing and whatnot. I really am sorry, but I wanted to get a video out. Hopefully I'm feeling better next week and I won't be coughing so much. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't, and you want to, because it's a difficult game, you like difficult games, go and play Sifu because it's fucking amazing. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about difficulty settings in video games. Really interested in all your opinions. And let me know if you've been playing our part-time gamers game double a month, the medium. And let me know what else you've been playing. Have you been playing Sifu? Have you played Crossfire X? What do you think of Crossfire X? Is it as bad as I say it is? It is. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.